A COVID vaccine being jointly developed by Pfizer and BioNTech is on track to be submitted for regulatory review as early as October. The companies say it's well tolerated with mild to moderate fever in fewer than 20% of participants. The positive news comes as German Chancellor Angela Merkel is urging Europe to avoid new lockdowns as a resurgence of the virus again threatens EU countries. Speaking with French President Emmanuel Macron, she said closing borders should be avoided at any cost. The bloc is torn between the need to address a public health crisis without delivering another blow to the economy, which can't handle another shutdown, according to Merkel. For more, Daniel Schaefer, Bloomberg's Germany bureau chief, joins us out of Frankfurt. Dan, good morning. Let me ask first how bad the situation is across Europe in terms of the virus right now.
Yes. So we're seeing really rising cases almost everywhere in Europe. France yesterday had a rise in 4,700 cases, which is the most since mid-April. And also, Germany has had the highest numbers in several months throughout the week, really. And we've also seen rising cases in Eastern Europe and in Spain, and albeit a bit more moderate in Italy as well. What is important, though, is to remember that this is still the situation we're having now is still a far cry from the one we had in March, April, where all the hospitals were overflowing in some of the southern European countries in particular, and we had thousands of deaths each day. So we're still far away from that stage, but we obviously have rising cases everywhere, and that's a worrying trend for all heads of state.
And Daniel, how have European leaders been reacting then to this?
So far, and this is also what we have heard Merkel and Macron talk about yesterday. So far, basically, they've been doing everything to try to avoid general lockdowns again. So, what we see now are really more targeted initiatives than the general lockdowns that we've seen in March and April. So we've seen, mandatory mask wearing being, much more widespread. I mean, we had France declaring some areas where people even outside have to wear masks. We have seen local shutdowns just in areas where there's a local outbreak. We've seen the closing of nightclubs and other venues that could be spreaders of the virus, and we've seen the quarantining of travelers who come from risk areas. Just yesterday, Germany declared parts of Croatia as risk areas, so people who come back from those areas need to quarantine for 2 weeks or show that they have a negative test result. Now Chancellor Merkel has said at the moment what will not happen is there won't be any further easing of any of the restrictions that are in place. And she also stressed that what she wants to avoid is the closing of borders at all costs.